Maybe Sipho wants to impress his potential mother-in-law with a brand new puppy. It might help that she has been doing some 500 or so Google searches about how to kill your neighbor's annoying pet on Sipho's girlfriend's phone, which regularly connects to Sipho's Wi-Fi. So that brings us to the definitions of the prominent types of analytics, which are building blocks of AI. We'll start with descriptive analytics, which deal with describing certain trends or patterns within a given context. This will depend on the desired outputs, which would largely be derived from the desired value constructs, which should have already been built before any technical work can commence. Based on these desired outputs from the value constructs, a list of patterns, trends, and descriptive information can be derived from analytic models or algorithms run on the available data. There may have been some trends from our descriptive information that require explaining. If only half the people who bought tickets show up to an outside event and it's heavily raining, then the diagnosis can be considered to be obvious, although this kind of inference can be dangerous in certain contexts. However, if 90% of all the men who attended a specific opera show got home and set their car on fire, then further analysis may be required. Then there's predictive analytics, which use available data and trends and information from descriptive and diagnostic analysis to predict future trends. The predictions are only as good as the available data. Lastly, prescriptive analytics. So talking to those entrepreneurs again about the app. If Sipho regularly fills out those medical aid lifestyle app forms on his phone, and a bank SMS on his phone indicates he's just made a purchase at a Fat Cake cafe, that lovely app should throw up a notification telling Sipho that eating a fat cake is probably not a good idea right now. So we've been talking about a very important, if not the most important input to analytics, data. So let's spend a bit of time defining what it is. We'll use the context of an online gaming app where participants can log into the platform from any location and compete with each other. So the first type of data is user-inputted data. This is the data we typically provide when signing up to platforms online. Your name, phone number, address if it's a platform that needs to deliver something to you, your age and gender if it's one of those medical or health platforms. You may have engaged in some surveys and provided some answers regarding an issue you are passionate about, or maybe you just did it for a freebie. Then there's behavioral data. This is usually the data collected when we interact or engage the digital platforms we use, including how we consume the products and services on these platforms. This kind of information is gold because it reveals our true nature, both within the context of using the said products and services and outside of that context as well. For example, Sipho might have lied and said he's 18 years old so that he can get a student discount on a video streaming app. He also might have described his many spa visits as a medical expense on a spending habits survey because he considers himself to have a bad back, even though the key driver to the visits is his romantic interest in the receptionist at the spa. So this data is really important because the consumption and engagement trends may reveal real user attributes as opposed to how users want to be perceived. Lastly, system or platform data. This is the data that the system or platform generates itself from its own behavior, as well as how users interact with it. This data can be used to generate customer insights for strategic reasons or even support purposes. For example, a certain German car brand has an app installed in their new cars to monitor the car. The car can then report directly to the dealership if it needs service without the user having to call, which is fantastic. However, and playing devil's advocate here, the same app can also covertly track the driver's driving behavior and send that information to the driver's insurance company, or even covertly read the driver's SMSs and report the number of bottle straw or drinking hole transactions the driver makes. So going back to the context of the gaming platform, we can derive a few descriptive insights from the data. In this case, the gaming platform that allows users to compete with each other from all global locations in real time is the value construct. So our insight generation will largely depend on what strategic operational objectives we're trying to achieve. In this era of disruption, hubris and gut feel are simply not enough. Ask the Hillary Clinton presidential election campaigning team. Working on facts supported by data has become a major competitive advantage for many consumer-facing businesses. Informed strategic decision-making is no longer optional. It's required at all times for businesses trying to weather or leverage the forces of disruption. Multiple data points from different types of data can be used to derive a good number of business-aiding insights. Similarly, we can generate diagnostic insights for any descriptions we feel require further analysis. Some reasons can be obvious, but it's critical to not take anything at face value. A trend or phenomenon can have more than one reason for occurring, and the one that has the most weight might not be the one that is perceived to be glaringly obvious. If there's enough data to dig deeper and run further models, then that should be the first approach. Sometimes collecting further data might be necessary. It all depends on the mission at hand. The more insights can be derived, the better, as long as the exercise is driven from the value mandate and not just for the sake of deriving insights. The value mandate may be anything: an operational mandate to cut platform maintenance costs or a strategic mandate to improve customer experience. The gist of it is that there has to be a mandate. Similar to descriptive insights, diagnostic insights can be derived from multiple data types and points as well. The same goes for predictive insights as well. Now, dealing with prescriptive analytics, we use the outputs from the descriptive, diagnostic, and predictive insights to derive a few next best action points in terms of how to proceed to meet a certain outcome. The outcome can be anything that is business critical: increasing customer acquisition rate, increasing platform advertising revenue, or user engagement, as long as it is aligned to the value construct. We've come to the end of chapter 1. Thanks for watching. Cheers for now.